It's fine. I'm Sophie Woodward. I'm the violence prevention coordinator.
And so we were here, we actually had a presentation here in June of last year about the chip. It's been about 10 months, so we wanted to come and give you guys a brief update on what's been going on with it. So do you have the clicker for the things like
There's no clicker, just say next one.
just say next? Okay. Okay, so chip, you can see what that is. Well, here we are. We can go to the next slide. So I'm going to breeze through these because I think most of you probably know about this initiative and we did this 10 months ago. I'm just going to go through the slides really briefly and then we're going to focus more on kind of what's happened in the last 10 months. So, our CHIP is a 5-year, it's like a county-wide health improvement plan. We do a big planning process. We look at a bunch of data. We do a big planning process with a lot of different people to kind of set our agenda for how can we as a county, not just the health department, but like everybody as a county, make interventions in the county in different places to help to improve the health outcomes for our entire community. And that's based upon our data that we do, and there's this 5-year cycle that we do. And it's really a big initiative. I mean, it's our largest kind of community-facing initiative that we have at the health department. Next here. So out of our assessment planning process, we had identified 5 different areas: jobs and education, healthcare access, safe and affordable housing, violence prevention, and then behavioral health, which includes substance misuse and mental health. And then in the planning process, our residents, because we did a lot of work during the assessment process with residents, asking people, what are your health concerns? What are your personal concerns? Looking at data, of course. And so these emerged in that as well: poverty, racism, and trauma. But we don't have groups for those. We did want to have like a poverty group and a racism group. We wanted to infuse that into the different work. So as they did the assessment, and especially the planning, they took these into account so that like the work that we do helps to lessen poverty, the impacts of racism and trauma. And I think next slide. So, and we have a collective impact approach. So the health department, you'll notice, actually, do you mind going back for a second? So you'll notice the health department is not a workforce development agency. We're not a housing agency. We do violence prevention. We're not a violence prevention agency, and we're not a behavioral health agency. We do some of this work, but the other ones we don't. And that's one of the reasons we have the collective impact model. So the health department steps into the backbone. We help with fundraising, planning, public policy work. We track progress. We help to coordinate. So it allows us, like, we have lead agencies that we contract with and we provide money to, and they're the ones that actually do the work in the community. And we're the ones that kind of help to equip them and partner with them and other things like that. And you can see here, we have partners in all of these different areas. I mean, this isn't just like, oh, some of them. Like, we literally have a partner in every one of the multiple partners in every one of these sectors for this work. So next one here. And our lead agencies, you can see the Economic Development Council for Jobs and Education. I don't know of another public health department that partners with the Economic Development Council like we do. I really don't think there is one, at least in this region. Vibrant Health for health access, Crosslines for our housing. We have several lead agencies for violence prevention: Moxa, Livable Neighborhoods, and Thrive. And then we also do work in that area as well. Shelby leads that work for us. And then the Behavioral Health Center for behavioral health. Next slide here. And I will pass it over to Shelby for this part.
Okay, great. So for our jobs and education priority area, like West said, Wyandotte Economic Development Council is our lead agency for that one. And we wanted to give you kind of where were we at the start of our 2024 to 2028 trip. And so Wyandotte County, as I'm sure some of you know, has some really high paying jobs. We have some of the highest paying jobs in the county, in the state. But there's a huge gap between our high paying jobs and the income that our residents are bringing in. And so if you want to go to the next slide, Mina, As we were building up some of our strategies and as we've been doing that work for the past year, there's been a real focus on bridging that gap. So these are just a couple of our highlights. Feel free to read through them, but I'm just going to highlight the first one, the Career Pathways Student Tours. That is a program with all of the schools, all of the high schools in Wyandotte County. And the students, will visit different job sites, doing a variety of different things. And they will get experience and knowledge from employers on what the education looks like in order to do these jobs, what the job would look like, what credentials you need, things like that. So we're exposing them to the job, we're exposing them to potential education that's necessary for those. And then through that, in a partnership with KCKCC, some of those kids are leaving those tours or leaving high school with scholarships and with admittance into KCKCC to start working on some of those different job fields.
Is this a picture of that?
Yeah, so the top picture is from the student tours at one of the partnering employers. And then the bottom is a student at KCKCC receiving a scholarship.
Okay, so for healthcare access, Vibrant is our lead agency. Really focus on access and then also improving capacity in the healthcare system. We had a really great clinic in downtown that shut down last year. Duchesne Clinic served about 1,400 people. A lot of people who were undocumented, a lot of people who spoke Spanish, and a lot of people who were uninsured. And now they're gone. And so that's been a big hit for us. And Mercy and Truth has helped to pick up a lot of that. Vibrant has picked up some of it and some others, but there's been some changes that have happened in there. And there's also at the national level, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about Medicaid and talked about Medicaid. A lot of our residents, I think 45,000 people in the county are on Medicaid. So changes to Medicaid impact a lot of people in our county. If you want to go to the next slide here. So just focusing on this one, actually Duchesne, these numbers were pretty significantly higher in 2023 because Duchesne was a big utilizer of the program. But government efficiency has been in the news a lot, which is really important, by the way. And so I really like this program kind of from that angle because the Department of Transportation for the UG had some excess capacity. They have a program that serves a lot of people who are disabled, elderly, on Medicare, to get them to healthcare appointments and things like that. It's funded by the federal government. Do a lot of work getting people to dialysis on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then had a lot of capacity on the other days. So we were like, hey, can we, on those days, help people get to the doctor? And so that's what this program does, and it's worked really great. But we're trying to onboard Providence Healthcare this year, and then we want to increase capacity really for the programs to see if we can make it 5 days a week, and then start to bring on. We have a lot of clinics on, but it's just a continual process of getting people onboarded to like use it, make sure patients know about it, and all of that. So a lot of work to do on that this year. Next one, and then housing. Every time this slide comes up, housing is such a crisis in the country right now. I mean, honestly, a lot of our ideas now, it's been in the news a lot. And so I think people are kind of like catching up to like the state of housing in the country. It's not just our county. The idea that someone can get a good trade job or if they graduate from college, get like a decent paying job and then buy a new house with like, a 2-car garage. Those houses are like $400,000 now. And rent is also, I think the median rent in the county, I think it's like $1,200 or $1,300 for rent. So their whole landscape has changed and people's ideas about what's needed have not caught up. And so one of the struggling things here is just like, hey, housing is a huge crisis, and it's kind of a creeping crisis because, people do die of not having housing, but it's just it sort of hits differently than, for instance, like overdoses, where it's like we have a statistic that's like, this is how bad it is. We don't have that. And so it's just not, I think, on people's radar as much as like it's very, very difficult for people to find housing that's not, find housing in general, and then find housing that's not taking up a huge amount of their household income. And when it sucks up a huge amount of their household income, it puts pressure on them for childcare, for food, for just like living in general. And so for going to the doctor. So it's like has these compounding effects. And it really is like a creeping crisis in our county and in our state and in the country. And if you want to go to the next one here, there's been a lot of stuff that's happened, but I'm going to focus on this one, the landlord tenant risk fund. So we had a, for the people at who are very low income, we had a great project that we partnered with the Housing Authority on people who need access to housing programs, who are very low income. They still oftentimes have to pay rental application fees, rental security deposits, and utility deposits. But if you're like, if you're pulling in, $1,500 or $2,000 a month or something like that, or even less, a $250 deposit with another deposit, like coming up with $500, you already need money because you're going to the housing program. So you don't have that money available a lot of times. So it doesn't take a lot of money. I mean, we got a grant for $125,000 that the Housing Authority then worked with a lot of other housing agencies, and they were able to help about 94 families and 109 children this last year access housing programs, which was just like, the amount of money that's leveraged from that, like helping people get housing, is like hugely more than the amount of money it took for people to just get over that little barrier. So it was like a kind of a perfect program, and we have a grant in for the second year of that. And it's just been really great. So this one here.
Okay. So a couple of these stats up here may look pretty staggering, and that's because that violence is a scary thing. Violence often leads to serious injury and death. And Wyandotte County has some pretty high rates compared to the rest of Kansas. So when we look at things like this, I just wanted to point out that when we talk about data like this, we're looking at the 5-year average. So we're not looking at the number of homicides related to firearms from last year. If we were looking at last year, if we were looking at the past 2 years, those numbers have decreased a lot. We're seeing some really good things. And I think that that's largely because of collaboration between KCKD, between health department and all of our programs and all of our lead agencies. So I just wanted to provide some perspective for some of the numbers that we see up here. I also wanted to point out, Wes mentioned the lenses that we look at, so poverty, racism, and trauma. And this one right here, when we look at homicide rates for Hispanic Latino youth and for Black youth, those rates are 4 to 5 times higher than for white youth. So those are just some pretty staggering numbers. And they kind of help tell the story of Wyandotte County and why this priority area is really important to work on. Okay, so if we want to go to the next one, Wes also mentioned that violence prevention looks a little bit different. We know that violence happens in a lot of different ways. It's not just homicide rates, it's not just firearms. There's a lot of different kinds of violence, and there's a lot of different solutions for it. And so we have partnered with some organizations that do great work in those areas, in different areas. So this is just kind of a rundown. Yeah, we have Livable Neighborhoods. So Mina's doing some great work. Our friends over at Moxa, this is Emily, she's at Moxa, are also doing some great work. And then Thrive with youth and families. And then I'm over here for right now, working on some gun violence prevention stuff and partnering with awesome organizations like Churches United for Justice and Grandparents for Gun Safety. So if we want to go to the next one, we've had some really cool successes in collaboration with Mark and with planning and public works and a bunch of other departments and organizations that I'm not intentionally leaving out. It's very important. But we were able to apply for an AARP grant and get some funding to add some park benches. And that I think people have a lot of questions sometimes about why the built environment impacts violence. But when people feel safe and comfortable utilizing public spaces, that means that the neighbors are looking out for each other. We are getting outside, talking to each other. We know what's normal in our neighborhoods by participating in our neighborhoods. So things like park benches can really help people access public spaces. Moxa is doing some really great work with changing norms with kids. And so they're about to launch a campaign that the youth like completely created by themselves. And they had, I don't want to get the number wrong, over 115 students participating in the creation of this campaign. So we'll definitely share that out when they launch. It'll be coming up in the next couple of months. And then just a fun, like a really great number. Grandparents for Gun Safety gives out free gun locks. And you just ask them to come table or you ask them for some gun locks and they will do it. And because of collaboration with Veterans Affairs and the Health Department, Grandparents for Gun Safety was able to increase their number of distributed gun locks in Wyandotte County specifically by 300% compared to last year or 2023. So we're still working on how to increase that number even more, but seeing a 300% increase from year to year is just outstanding. So we're really excited about some of the work that we're doing. Okay, behavioral health is our newest priority area. Behavioral health previously was under healthcare access, but with our CHA, community health assessment that we did in 2022 for this CHIP, it was kind of pulled out and identified as being a significant issue in Wyandotte County and across the country. And so just kind of the lay of the land currently, there have been just a drastic increase in overdose deaths across the country. In Wyandotte County, sorry, let me get my numbers right. Overdoses have increased every year from 2018 to 2023. Thankfully, there was a decrease in 2024, but the rate in 2024 is still higher than, I believe, any year up at like previous to 2019. And these rates are 10 times higher than the height of the war on drugs. So we're seeing like this is a significant data point, and we're losing a lot of people because of a lack of education, because of a lack of harm reduction services, because of the unavailability of helpful treatment, the cost of treatment. So if you want to go to the next page, we can talk about what our lead on this Wyandotte Behavioral Health Network is doing. So you all have heard of 988? Okay, great. They're the crisis hotline. It's kind of a national crisis hotline. And Wyandotte Behavioral Health Network is the hub for Wyandotte County. Wyandotte County was seeing higher calls than any other place in the state of Kansas, like combined, than like the next three combined. And so Wyandotte County has its own hub. Other areas go to different places. So I think that Topeka has their own, I think Wichita has their own, and then I think the rest of Kansas, those calls are into a center in Lawrence. And so that was launched in May of last year, and they've received thousands of calls since then. And from those calls, there are cases where we need to send out co-responders who go out with a CITL police officer and provide some additional support services. And if they need to be taken to the hospital, they can do that. If they need to be taken to a RSI, which is like a 24-hour crisis center, then they can help with that too. And then I also wanted to point out, Wes and I got this email from our nurse supervisor at the health department about how many doses of naloxone were handed out. And naloxone is Narcan. It's an overdose reversal medication. And I, first off, advise everyone to come into the health department, go to your public library, get a dose and keep it on you. Even if you don't actively use, no one in your family or friends use, you never know when it could be helpful for someone else. But we just wanted to point out that over 2,000 doses of naloxone were given away last year. And that is why, I mean, that is one of the reasons why there is a decrease in overdose deaths in 2024, is because people are carrying naloxone, they're utilizing it, and it's saving lives.
Yeah.
All right, and then this is all of the contact information for all of our lead agencies. You can scan this QR code to get access to our community health improvement plan. We are in the process, we are finalizing the process, or we're finalizing our year 2 booklet, and we will have those for you next month. Promise.
Yep.
They're looking very, very cool. Each year in our CHIP booklets, we do a different feel from around Wyandotte County. And we do kind of like an artistic rendition of that. And we just saw this year's and it's very cool. We're very excited about our booklets. And it'll have all of our successes that we kind of talked about today. And it'll have all of our strategies and contact information. Is there anything else you want to add?
Just that if anything looks interesting, we'd love for new people to get engaged in the work. There's kind of two levels to get engaged. We have each of these groups has a whole group meeting either every month or every quarter. And so we welcome any of you to get involved in those. You can contact these people on the screen. And then there's also projects. And so there's different subcommittees or subgroups that will then, like when the big group's not meeting, they'll meet, and those look totally different depending on what the project is. But maybe a good way is just, get engaged at that first level and then talk to the person who's here. And then that lead person can then kind of say, oh, I'm interested in this, maybe get in touch with that person, because it's a pretty big network of people that are working on it. But we welcome, the more people and ideas and connections and expertise and everything that we have in this, the better. So thank you for letting us speak to you this morning.
Are there any questions about the chip? I do want to say, I went to the library earlier this week and I actually got Narcan out of the vending machine. So plug for that. Go to your local library and sign up for a library card to support your local library and get some Narcan and be a good neighbor.
Yeah. Could you actually go back on the slide?
Yeah.
Okay, so that thing right there, that is the vending machine that Nina was mentioning. And it's just, it's kind of like an old newspaper thing where you put your dime and you get your newspaper out. No dimes though. So you just open it up and at the end, there's fentanyl testing strips in there. There's educational materials. And then at some of the libraries, you can kind of see it next to it. There are bigger vending machines. Those do ask for a zip code, but it doesn't matter what zip code you put in. So yeah, those are the vending machines that Nina was talking about.
Someone online asked about the booklet, so you said it will be available next month.
Yes, I will bring some in next month.
Yeah, we were trying to get them ready for this one, but it's getting something published like that is pretty hard. So we will have it next month.
I got a question, like, I'm Robert Williams with Connections to Success. My question about the violence prevention thing is, what's actually being done to prevent violence here in Wyandotte? Like, what moves are being made?
Good question.
If you want to just go back to that really quick. So there's a lot, actually. We're just one group that's doing it. The police department is doing a tremendous amount of work on getting guns off the streets. And, a lot of the violence in the community is related to drugs. And so there's a lot of enforcement stuff that PD is doing that we didn't cover here. That it would be great to hear about that. The work that we're doing is related to kind of like, the work, getting gun locks out to people. There's a lot of accidental gun deaths that happen to people, helping to improve the environment for people to make sure that it's kind of like an eyes on the street type thing, where the more we kind of focus on like the primary factors that sort of like we're not going to go and like sort of bust up people or something. Like it's more like, okay, what conditions are there in the community that we could like change something? It might be something like the neighborhood groups have more activities in a park, or like we're going to help the lighting, or we're going to like work with youth and like work on norms change. That's the kind of work we do. But there's just a lot of other work besides. There's a lot of people that are doing that type of work, but yeah.
And in addition to all of these things, we have other programs and other strategies that we're working on. So Thrive is the lead for Revive, which is a hospital-based violence prevention program. And so when a youth comes in with an intentional violent injury, whether that's assault, a stabbing, a gunshot wound, then ad hoc will be called in to provide wraparound services for that youth and that family in attempts to prevent retaliatory violence and to make sure that they're well supported. So we do have some like hands-on programs like that. But like Wes said, we also focus on like primary prevention, and we focus at like a higher community or societal level. But you'll see, and we can touch base if you'd like, but if you look at some of our strategies, you'll see that we do like relationship and individual level strategies all the way up to societal change. So there's a lot of answers to your question. I'm more than happy to continue to talk about it after.
Thanks for that.
We do have one last question. Some, Ms. Linda on, in the chat asked if any of the booklets can be sent to the libraries for their community information areas.
That sounds great. We would love to do that.
Which library is she at? Do you know?
Miss Linda, is it Linda? West Branch, okay, West Branch.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's it under?
Yeah, that sounds great. We'd love, maybe we could put them in all of the public libraries. We'd love to, if we run out and we have to print more, that's a great problem to have.
To our funders.
No more questions. Can we give them a round of applause? And if anybody wants little business cards with any of these contact information, if you can pop by my office after I have cards. with this. Okay, with that, we're gonna transition from presentations into our UD department and organization updates. And first up, we have KCK USD 500.
Hello, good morning, everyone. We just have a few short messages, and I'm going to, as you all know, we're getting to that time, part of the end of the school year, and there's graduations. So in the chat, I'm going to share the graduation dates for KCKPS. And this is also on our website under academics. That's all I have. I know Francisco has something to share with you as well. And it's good to see everyone.
Good morning, everybody. It's good to see you all. Thanks for allowing us to bring you this content today. I am also going to share a link in the chat, and this is all about our Unity in the Community event happening this very Saturday, April 26th. It'll happen at J.C. Harmon High School from 11 in the morning to 1 p.m. It's a fun event. This is the second annual. Last year's event was fantastic. It's a lot of fun. There's resourcing in the community. It's an opportunity for you all to connect with some of the resources that are available for our parents and our students and our larger community. There'll be food vendors on site, some of the favorite food vendors that you are used to, activities such as face painting, the Kansas Public Library mobile library, hands-on activities, live mural painting. There'll be a series of performances starting from 11:05 all the way up to the very end. And you'll find all those details on our website through the link that I just provided for you. There's a whole list of community partners that make this possible that I can't go into in terms of the time we have to present, but you'll find out all that there. So if you come to the event, or even if you can't, but know of these community entities that have helped us put this together, please thank them for doing so, and make sure that you stay aware for next year's event. Again, this is a fun activity that we invite you all to attend, and bring your family, bring your friends, bring your students, bring your parents. See you there.
Let's go. Next up, we have Turner USD 202.
Hi, I'm Lauren with the Turner School District. Just a couple announcements today. First of all, our kindergarten and preschool enrollment for next school year opens on May 1st. So if you're a Turner resident with kiddos ages, they'd have to be 3 to 5 by August 31st. You might qualify for our preschool, and then definitely would qualify for kindergarten if they're going to be 5. And then lastly, I know the school year is not even over yet, but we are thinking forward to next school year, which feels a little crazy, but we did select the date for our Turner Back to School Bash. It's going to be Wednesday, July 30th. And we are inviting businesses and organizations to participate by hosting a carnival style game in our gymnasium that kids and families can come by and play. We've had over 1,000 attendees the last few years at this event, so great opportunity for exposure. I think a really good fit would be like a nonprofit that is wanting to kind of share more information about their resources that they offer with families. And while the kids are playing the game, then representatives from your organization would have an opportunity to talk to the parents and give a flyer. But we do require that carnival style game in our gym. So that's all I have. And if anyone has questions or is interested in participating in that, they can contact me. I'll put my email address in the comments.
Thanks, Lauren. Kansas City, Kansas Fire Department.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Kelly Littlefield. I'm sitting in for Fire Marshal John Droppelman. Just a couple of things with the fire department. This is the time of year that people can get burn permits to burn openly. You can get a burn permit from the fire department website. It's kckfd.org. And this is only for residential burning. This does not include commercial properties. So far, we have issued 437 burn permits. There will be no extension of the burning time. We did have to cancel 9 days because of high wind. We have run 163 calls for illegal burning since January. So we don't want people to burn outside of the burn season. It affects our air quality. So on a health note, we don't want to do that. Moving on to other fire department news, the Fire Academy has 9 recruits scheduled to graduate May the 8th. And then on May the 2nd here at fire headquarters, we're having a community blood drive with the Red Cross from 10 to 2. So if anyone wants to come donate, you can go to the Red Cross website, and we are on their website as a donation site. So consider giving a blood donation if you can. Our community paramedicine group has the hands-on health fair at the Argentine Community Center this Saturday from 11 to 2. And there's lots of health information, lots of hands-on things. There's food vendors, there's a bounce house for the kids. There's quite a lot of things going on at that event. Again, that's this Saturday at the Argentine Community Center from 11 to 2. They had hoped to have it in the park, but it's just too soggy and that much needed rain. And our safety tips for the month are safe grilling and hoarding. For people that like to stack and collect and keep things in their homes, consider if you have a fire or a medical emergency, how is the fire department going to navigate through that? So if you know somebody that's an avid collector, is what I like to call them, please have them consider downsizing some of those items. Since we just had dumpster days, and we do have the hazardous materials give back to the UG, so take advantage of that. And that's all I have for the fire department. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Can we have Kansas City, Kansas Police Department?
Good morning, everyone. We're entering our busy season, so we have a lot of events to tell you all about today. The first one is going to be May 1st. It's the Citizens Academy. If anyone's interested in learning more about the police department, it's at our academy, and you get to have a lot of different units from the police department come in and kind of tell you more about what we do and our policies and procedures and such. It is an 8-week commitment, and they meet every Thursday from 6:30 to 8:30. 18 years or older, and a background check goes with that. If you're interested, you can register on our website. May 17th, we have our women's personal safety course. That's from 8 a.m. to noon at our Police Athletic Week downtown. If you're interested in that, it is for women 13 and older. If it is 13 to 18, I think we require a signature from a parent. You can also register for that online. And then two more, just kidding. May 22nd, we have West Patrol's open house out at 82nd and State area. You can come out. It's usually a fun time. We have hot dogs and our gaming trailer and all that kind of stuff will be out there. That is from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then June 14th, we have our Chiefs football camp. I think this is the 4th or 5th year that we're doing it. It's usually a really fun time. It's open for any kids 7 to 18. They can come out. We usually have goodies to hand out. And then there's a really cool food truck area out there as well that they can come out and have with us. And there's registration for that online as well. Any questions for me?
How was the Peace Walk?
The Peace Walk was fantastic. I think we actually upped our numbers. We went through twice as much food as we did last year. So I'm pretty happy with that. It was a really good turnout. Yeah.
There's a recap video on the UG website, the UG YouTube channel, so of the Peace Walk.
Thank you.
Check it
Yeah.
out.
Any other questions?
What's the date on the safety course again?
The safety course is May 17th.
May 17th.
It's 8 a.m. to noon. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Wyandotte County Sheriff's Department is next.
Hi, guys. I'm Grace. I'm the media specialist. We have a few things coming up. I had a sheet printed out for the last meeting. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to print those off this week. But if you guys want to get with me, I can email those to you guys. Also, everything is posted on our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter. So if you don't follow us, that's a great thing to do. Follow us and you can see everything that we're posting. The soonest thing that we have is going to be on May 16th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. We have our annual memorial ceremony. So it'll just be a short little kind of ceremony. I believe the mayor is coming to speak. The sheriff will say a little something, and then there will be some lunch boxes you can get. Everything that is taken is for donation for the FOP Memorial Fund. So none of that money goes back to us. It all goes to the Memorial Fund. If, God forbid, we have to put any more names on our memorial, any kind of upkeep, things like that, that's where that goes. It does not go into our pockets. And then, as always, the sheriff would love to come talk to your community groups, whether it's about just what we do, or if you have any questions, since it's an election year, he'd love to come talk to you and talk about his stance on things. Yeah, I believe that is all that we have.
Thanks, Grace. Next, we have Board of Public Utilities.
Good morning, everybody. So here's what I have for you guys. So next week on May 1st, we are offering a tour for this group of our near water treatment plant. So you can come see how our water is processed and treated and made clean and available for the county. I had Mina send out a sign up for you all last week, and attendance is low so far. So I asked everybody at the BPU, I told them that you guys are really excited about this, and no one signed up. So I need to get some of y'all signed up today. So I brought a sign up sheet, and then I also emailed the link to Crystal, so you can share it in the chat as well. As always, we want to come talk to your neighborhood group, so reach out to me, let me know, and I can set that up. I think we have the Blackhawks coming up, and we're really excited to talk to them. And it is a storm season, so if you experience a power outage, that number is 573-9522. So let us know if your power goes out, and we'll work as fast as we can and safely as we can to come out and fix that. So that's all I have.
For those of you that want to register, Chris is going to put it in the chat if you're online. Also, if you're subscribed to Livable Neighborhoods e-newsletter, when it goes out next Thursday, you can register via Eventbrite. Okay, next we have the mayor's office.
Next Thursday is the first.
Going once. Going twice. So, PA's office.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to see all of you. I just have a few things that I want to talk about real quickly. One, our office participated in the Legal Eagle Day for one of the local sororities, Certified Beta, and it was really good. We talked a lot about social media, sex exploitation for children and on children, and so it was really an educational type panel that I was able to talk with parents and children about the not only the scares, but literally the real crime that occurs on behalf of adults and children dealing with social media. If that's something that you would like to hear more about, please reach out to Jonathan Carter and I can come and speak to your organization specifically concerning that topic. We also was able to send our victim advocate, Elaine Carthorne. She was able to sit on a panel for the Kansas Birth Equity Network and to talk about how our office serves victims of crime as well as domestic violence and what resources are available. In the last month since we spoke, our office has filed about 100 cases, 40 of which were drug related. The rest were some type of assault, robbery, and 2 rapes that was there. Of course, many of you know ethics and laws will not allow me to go into detail of specifics of those cases, but I'd like to give you all an update on what we're charging. Now, the last thing that I really want to touch on and make sure that you are keenly aware so you can begin to spread the word and let it be known. In Kansas, we have what's called an expungement statute, and that statute allows individuals to clear their record if they have served their time and paid their debt to society, and it's been anywhere from 3 to 7 years, depending on what crime it is, that they have been off of paper or out of prison, and during that time they have had no violations of crime. Then the law allows them to apply for an expungement, to have that record or that case or that situation cleared off. Let me put this out there, and I continue to make this known. Murders is not one of those things that you can get expunged. Sex crimes are not things that you can get expunged. The other part of that is 90% of the cases that we charge collectively in this country are not those murders and rapes. Those are the things that are covered in the news. That's not the majority of our cases. Nevertheless, this office has an expungement fair that we've put together now going on, I want to say 6 or 7 years, and we work collaboratively with Kansas Legal Services along with the Kansas City, Kansas Community College. And so this year, our expungement fair is going to be July 29th and July 30th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's going to be, again, July 29th and 30th from 4 to 8 p.m. at the KCK-CC Tech Center, 6565 State Avenue. Why is this important? It's important because you are 80% less likely to receive a call back for an interview if you have any type of criminal record, whether it's misdemeanor or felony. If you have a criminal record of any kind, you're going to struggle getting a job. And so as the DA, our job is to do our best to make the community safer. And the best way to do that is to be preventative, not just concerning the crime that we know have occurred, but also being preventative and making sure that individuals have the ability to get jobs, because when they're able to make their own money, they're less likely to be tempted to come and try to take ours or someone else's in a criminal manner. So we really want to push this. Make sure that your community folks, your churches, your neighborhood organizations, and yourselves know about this. And if your criminal record, I don't care if it's 5 years, 20 years, or 30 years old, come and see if you can get that expunged. We have a grant normally that covers the $200 filing fee, which makes the expungement free for the first 100 folks that show up, because that $200 has to be paid to the court either way. So we partner again with Kansas Legal Services, and they have a grant that we can get up to $2,000 to $4,000 of that to help alleviate that process. So having said that, that is all that we have. Thank you for this opportunity. Are there any questions?
Did you see it in the chat? Okay.
Yep, I just saw it in the chat. And yes, we have Kansas Legal Services have reached out. Likewise, Wyandotte County now has the Kansas Public, or the Wyandotte County Public Defender's Office, and they too will be partnering with us. And they have brought to the table an automated process. We have looked at it. Kansas City, Missouri has looked at it as well. There are a couple things that are still being worked out to see if that process is possible. It's not right now. So what we have done is put all of our expungement paperwork on our website. It's on our Wyandotte County DA website. So you can go to our website, you can get the expungement paperwork, and you can fill it out. The issue that we run into with the automatic or the automation process is getting the courts on board as well, because that paperwork then has to be filed with the court, and then the court has to have the ability to review it. And with everyone's internal systems that are different, the court has their own system, the DA's office has their own system, and then the public is able to file in a different system. The issue comes into what will make all of them talk. And we're in the process of talking to try to figure that out. So thank you for that question. But right now we are not in that position to be able to do that.
Thanks,
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Next up, we have UG Strategic Communications.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey,
Christine
morning.
Better, Strategic Communications. I have a few announcements and all of these are captured on our website, but I just want to push out a reminder. But then also earlier this week, Earth Day, I just thought about it, Tuesday, I'm thrown off, you all, sorry. On the 22nd on Earth Day, UG kicked off our first community cleanup. And it was all UG employees. We had about 30 employees and we started off in downtown KCK and we did 3 blocks kind of radiusing the courthouse, City Hall. And we collected over 29 full trash bags, 49-gallon full trash bags and 4 tires of trash just in those 3 blocks. So our next challenge that we're going to do is June 13th. And all of this information with the dates that were outlined is on our website. We want to see as many people, that location hasn't been set yet, but once we do have that set, we want to, as many people and organizations that want to partner with us and also kind of keep that challenge going to clean up. We were shocked just how much trash we collected in that small space. It was, and we did it over our lunch period. So that was just within an hour and a half. So it was very eye-opening. Next thing, the Vision Zero map is still available. And for people, like if there's any areas where you think the neighborhood is unsafe regarding traffic, we've had quite a few entries, but it's still open and they're collecting all the data so they can pull things together for us. That's also on our website. Also, just giving you all a heads up, the community survey has closed and there will be a presentation at the commission meeting on May 1st next week. So just a heads up if you're interested in those results. I have not seen those yet, so I'm actually interested in seeing those as well from community members. Household hazardous waste, I believe Kelly mentioned that that's going on this Saturday, but I'm sorry. No, never mind. I'm not going to say it. Diana's going to talk about it.
Does a better job at it.
Oh, no, sorry. I was going to say that is this Saturday, but I will let Diana give more information on that. K-State Extension Program, there is an annual plant sale for anyone that's into plants and flowers like myself. I get amazing plants and flowers from there for really, really cheap. It's through the Master Gardener Program. That's May 2nd and 3rd. And it's an all-day event, but they're really, really reasonably priced. I would just put it that way. Also, if you are in the process of cleaning out your kitchen or cleaning out your house and you have any kind of kitchen items that you can donate to the K-State Extension, they have a kitchen restore wish list for people that are in need. If you have blenders, plates, anything that people can kind of, when they're going and needing a new start from a kitchen aspect, please donate those items. All of that information is on our website. And also you can drop it off to the K-State Extension office off of 78 and State Avenue. So, and then one last thing, there is on May 7th, St. John Community Park build. That's through our Parks and Recreation Department. If you are free on that day, I don't know exactly which day. And so we're going to actually build a park and do the ribbon cutting in one day. So if you're free, please join us. All that information is on our website. And that's really all I have. I want to, if I could give some of my time to Adrian that is online about the Dot Talk that is next Wednesday. Adrian, are you online?
Hi, I am online. I was gonna try to share my screen just so I can show the flyer here. So hopefully you all can see that. It is that time of year again. It is budget season at your local government of Kansas City, Kansas and Wyandotte County. What does that mean? That means that we're talking money, we're talking taxes, and we're talking how to best distribute our resources to give you all services in your community. So it is very important that you come out, you show up to our meeting next Wednesday at KCKCC Tech Center, April 30th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Let your friends know, let your neighbors know, bring your kids, bring everyone. We really want as many people involved in our budgeting discussions as possible. If for no other reason, then we will have free pizza. So come out and make your opinion known. That's all I have.
Leaving some
Go ahead.
for that event on the day.
And I was gonna say, there will be this year, a lot of the departments will be there. So if you have questions regarding services and different things of ways, services and impacts and things for different departments, a lot of the departments will physically be in the room. So you can ask questions, engage with them. And then, like Adrian said, there will be free pizza, but then also another way you can get involved in on June 5th, there will be public comment directly to the commission. So all of that will be presented and given out more detailed at that dot talk. But like Adrian said, as many people in the room as possible to help them when they present information to the commission, because the commission, they're the ones that actually make the decision on the budget. So we definitely want the community's input. So that was all. Sorry.
Thanks. All righty. Next we have UG Neighborhood Resource Center.
Good morning, everyone. I just have one item. I hope last Thursday we didn't inconvenience any citizens. If you'd seen the notice go out, we had shut down for a half a day and combined that with the full day holiday to upgrade our database. We moved it to the cloud, which is going to open up a lot of more opportunities for us to serve citizens better, just gives more departments access. Ever since we had the hack a while back, we've been very limited in even staff's access to our database. And this is putting it to the cloud so we can access it from anywhere with any type of a device. It also opens it up to use the system more UG-wide into more departments in the future. So we want to thank everybody for their patience with that. Our next steps are to start improving our customer portals. We're going to start off with the development processes, trying to enhance that, providing better customer service in that area and more accountability. Right now, we are not able to track all the changes and figure out where some things happen because you override a lot of information, which will go away. So, and then we plan on improving our business license and planning and zoning processes soon after that. And then we will start to also integrate our database into our website eventually. So it'll be much easier for customers to access information, make applications, and do business with us. So, and that's all I have.
Thanks, Greg. UG Planning and Urban Design. Going once. Going twice. Oh, Wyandotte County Public Health Department, if there's any other updates outside the gym.
I don't think so.
All right, okay. And then we have KCK Environmental Services / Public Works Department.
Hello, everyone. I'm Diana Miles. I'm in the Solid Waste Division. I just have two quick announcements. The first one is, like Crystal was mentioning, the HHW event is this Saturday. If you're not able to make it this Saturday, we'll have one every month until October. You can check on the website for those dates, and that is on South 88th Street. And that event, you can bring oil, liners, paint. Yeah, so all of those. Yes, peaches. So all of those items you can get rid of will be, our first event will be Saturday. The other thing I wanted to mention is that we did solid waste, worked with Waste Management on starting a carts program. The first phase, we are shooting to begin that in August. That is going to be by phase. The first phase will be west of 86 north of State. So that area will be the first phase in August. Waste Management will be sending in the next couple of weeks a postcard to every resident that lives in that area about informational sessions that we'll have in May, June, and July. So keep an eye out for that if you live in that area. If you have any questions regarding those sessions or any other questions about that program, you can get my contact information from Nina, and I'll be happy to talk about that. So very exciting, free carts for recycling and trash.
And then last and not least for department updates, we have Parks and Recreation.
Good morning, everybody. So I just brought some materials and have some updates. I'm Ethan Haynes. I'm with the Parks and Rec Department. So I brought our program guides for the spring and summer. So I will set them on that table. And so we just have kind of our programs at each community center, sport dates, upcoming events. all that good stuff. And I did just want to point out one thing in here. For one of our upcoming events, it's the Park Day. That will be May 17th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Emerson Park. And this year is going to be superhero themed. So kids are encouraged to come out in their superhero costumes, and we'll have superhero related activities, face painting, DJ, and a lot of fun. And then I also wanted to touch on the St. John's Park. Crystal kind of mentioned that, but we are looking for volunteers. That's May 7th. And that will start at 7:30 with the ribbon cutting to follow. So I'll leave those on that table as well. And then we're also in the middle of summer program registration. So this is for kids 8 to 12 or 5 to 12, I'm sorry. And the first month will be at Eisenhower Community Center, and the second month will be at Beatrice Lee. It is $40 a week, and we offer free meals for that. So that will be fun. And then we have Arbor Day tomorrow at Copperfield at 1:30. If anyone's interested in joining us, we're planting trees. And then we did just finish one of our projects at Ruby Park for a new playground. It is our first playground in our inventory with turf surfacing, so it's pretty nice looking. So I encourage you guys to check it out. And that, I believe, is all I got.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
All right, we are going to move into our community announcements. If you're online, if you would drop your announcement in the chat, and I will read it after everybody in the room has gone. If you're in person, you have a community announcement. One at a time, you come up, introduce yourself, keep your update to about a minute, 2 minutes. And then disclaimer, we are approaching an election season / year. Just wanted to let everybody know livable neighborhoods cannot endorse or provide any kind of campaign space for our aspiring elected officials. And people wanting to do that, but this isn't the space to promote those things. So with that, if you want to come on up, introduce yourself.
I'm Pam Blood, and I'm talking about the Shepherd Center Books and Bric-a-Brac sale, which will be next week, the May the 2nd and the 3rd. And if you have anything you want to donate, I've already talked to somebody about donating, so that'll be on the 1st. If you can bring the things, it'll be at 3333 Wood, which is Grace Lutheran Church, Mason Memorial Church, and one other church that's there too. But pick up the flyers, share them with other people. Just coming by.
I'm Angela Turner. I'm also here representing the Shepherd Center of KCK this morning. So the Shepherd Center of KCK is a local nonprofit that provides health, education, enrichment, and minor home repairs for successful aging of seniors in Wyandotte County. And we are celebrating 39 years. And this Saturday, it sounds like there's a lot going on this Saturday, but this Saturday, April 26th, from 4 to 7 p.m., we are having our 39th year celebration at the KCK Tech Center. Tickets are still available. If you plan to attend, we would love to know by today so we can have enough food and drinks. We will have some amazing food, some jazz entertainment, and just some celebration. So tickets are still available. Please let me know if you're coming, or you can go to our website, sckkck.org, and there's a link at the top.
And that's on Saturday?
Saturday.
Okay, great, thank you.
Hi, my name is Jordan. I work at the WYCO election office. I just wanted to quickly let everyone know that we have a sticker design contest going on with all of our WYCO students right now. It started back in March is when it opened up, but May 9th is the deadline. So any middle school students, they can design a future voter sticker that we'd hand out to all the kids who come in with their parents on election day to vote. So they get their own special design sticker, and then our high school students can design the I voted sticker, which we'll hand out to all the voters. So it's a great way for the kids to get involved with the election process. And then it's also fun to have a unique sticker designed by our students that we give out to everyone who comes out to vote. As it's been mentioned a couple times, it is election year. We have our local elections, and in June, I will talk more about that with you.
Hello, everybody. Brian Perez, Program Manager for Ad Hoc Group Against Crime. Just kind of wanted to remind everybody and make those aware who may not be aware of the Let's Wrap program that the DA is gracious enough to provide support, lead. It's lessening effects of trauma, strengthening resource assistance, partnership and prevention. Basically helping anybody who's been a victim of gun violence get support they need from home repairs, auto windshield repairs, temporary relocation, and other wraparound services. I have some brochures that I'll leave on the table for you guys. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. But just it's also going to be on the DA's website. Look under Let's Wrap. Also under Ad Hoc's website, we have a link for applications. Feel free to share. And like I said, if you have any questions, also they're having Friends of VAs is having a 25th annual crime awareness coordination effort. It's going to be on the 28th at 4:30 p.m. I think it's starting at 4:30. They're going to serve food. It will be at Forest Grove Baptist Church, Kansas City, Kansas. That's 1417 North 9th Street. It's for anybody who has lost a loved one to violence or criminal act. Feel free to go online, register, or show up if you can. I will be on the panel speaking for Ad Hoc, and along with a representative from the District Attorney's Office and KCKPD and the Sheriff's Department as well. So that's it for me.
Hi, I'm Connie Brown Collins, the Voter Rights Network of Wyandotte County. We primarily work on state policies that impacts us here in Wyandotte County. Those policies might include anything regarding human rights or fundamental rights, such as voting rights, public schools, minorities, immigrant rights, et cetera, et cetera. So again, we work at the state level and we offer lots of educational and informational programs here in Wyandotte County. The next one we have coming up is our voter education series. It will start at the South Branch Library on May 24th. And it'll go for 3 consecutive Saturdays. We'll probably offer lunch or heavy refreshments. And we'd love to see you there. Our first topic is who runs Wyandotte County? And so we will have representatives from our county offices talking about the background and history of the mayor's office, of the UG, of unification of Wyandotte. And we'll again have speakers present to talk about all those things that we thought we knew about how the counties run, but probably just don't, because we're not necessarily on the inside. So hope you can come out. Our next series, which will be the following Saturday, will be, I believe it's May 31st. It will talk about the power that some of our elected boards and commissions have. So again, we'll also talk about our school boards in our last session. So these are elected offices. It is not a candidate forum. The people that are presenting will not be running for office, but will be providing information and education on those elected offices. So if you would like more information, I don't have a flyer yet, but it's in progress. You can contact me at conniejbrown53@gmail.com. And I'll be sending out information via email and updates. Thank you.
Anybody else in the room? So. Okay. So our first announcement online, the KCK Public Library Summer Reading Kickoff event is May 29th at 7 p.m. At Boulevard Drive-In. We'll be showing the Wild Robot, and there will be all kinds of kids activities such as face painting, games, bubbles, etc. Linda hopes to see you there. Rosedale Development Association will have a new community calendar on their website. You can see it at rosedale.org. community organizations, UG are all welcome to post on that calendar. You can email sarah@rosedale.org. Sorry, that was really confusing when I said that. With any questions. Also, RDA is taking applications for their paid summer youth employment program. And so is our NVR in Argentine and Armadale. While they're hiring separately, their team is up for training week, June 7th to the 5th at the South Branch Library. Thanks to BPU for sponsoring this great opportunity for our community's youth. Students can visit the community calendar for application information and links. Dawn with Downtown Shareholders says downtown is planning a KCK cleanup on Saturday, April 26th, this Saturday, 12 p.m. They'll meet at Security Bank. You can contact Dawn at 913-461-3374. They'll also have a downtown small business crawl. You can check their LinkedIn or Instagram to get details. Visit 7 out of the 14 small businesses and return your form for a chance to win a $100 prize.
Yes, please go see these small businesses. They are waiting to see you, and you don't have to purchase anything. Just go visit those businesses and you win a prize. Lots of fun.
Thanks, Don. Tamara says on Saturday, April 26th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., they'll be hosting a job fair at 2100 North 13th Street. That's 66104. If you have any questions, you can reach out by calling Tamara at 913-413-2461. And then our last update is also from the fire department, and it's just a burn permit application in case anybody is wanting to fill that out. And that's all the announcements. I do want to say thank you again for coming to our April meeting. I hope to see you in May. It'll be the same time and place. So 9 a.m. to 10:30 here at the NRC. And that is May 22nd. Also, if you didn't sign in on your way in, sign in on your way out and take this. And I'll see you next month. Thanks for joining me online. Thanks, Mina.
Are you gonna be live at the